Hello everyone, we are back for another Power Ranger Legacy review. So we've got the most recent of the Dino Thunder Rangers in hand, the Black Dino Ranger. So this is, Jason David Frank's final Power Ranger that he played in the 5 Rangers that he was. Yeah, he was 5. So Black Dino Thunder. He comes with his staff. They packaged it really poorly, if we're going to talk about that for a second, to the point where I thought that it was missing. I thought by the time I got home that it was actually not here, that someone had taken it, or it was missed, but it was sealed, so it would have been missed. But it's actually shoved in the corner down here, so it's really misleading. It looks like he's supposed to be holding it based on his pose in there, but it's actually in the corner. So keep that in mind when you're out looking for this guy. Other than that, though, same style packaging we've got for all the other Rangers. So let's not waste any time and pull them out and take a look. All right, guys. So here's our Black Dino Thunder Ranger out of the box, and I got to say right off the bat, I think he is probably my favorite of the recent Rangers, and that goes, even with the fact that I'm not that attached to Dino Thunder. I'm really only buying these because I dig the look. But from the overall figure itself, the design, and the accessory, which is something I'll kind of touch on shortly, he's just a little bit better. He's got more good than okay as compared to the other figures that we've had lately. Because the other figures they've not been bad, but they've just been okay. So he still does have some problems and some of the same kind of issues that I've been talking about with other figures lately. It's definitely going to be related to the color gold, as usual. But for the most part, he's still pretty good. He is, of course, the exact same kind of figure that we've seen. So I've done the blue and the red Dino Thunder Rangers at this point. And, they're all the same body. He's got a few extra bits to him, and he's got one really cool accessory. So let's do articulation real quick. Just going to plow through it because we've seen it before. Head can swivel up and down. Arms can go out all around, but the shoulder pads this time around are going to impede his movement. Bicep swivel, double joint at the elbows, and then ball hinge wrist. We do have an ab crunch, a waist twist. Legs can go all the way out, all the way forward, all the way back. Thigh cut, double jointed knees. These guys don't have anything at the boot level, but they do have rockers and hinges at the ankles. So he's got your standard kind of modern day articulation. As far as the general aesthetic, I dig this Ranger. I really like him. He's not, one of the 6th Rangers or an extra Ranger. He kind of is an extra Ranger. The Dino Thunder main team is just 3, red, yellow, and blue. Black is the mentor, Jason David Frank's Ranger. In this particular show, he gets an extra cool look, and then there is another Ranger, a white Ranger, that comes later on. That figure was just recently teased, I think, or was leaked or something like that, and so that should be coming pretty soon. But for the general figure itself, it's the same thing that we've seen with red and blue so far. So it's the base color, black here. He's got the gold Dino Thunder logo. He's got the diamonds. This time they are gold, and they are painted in a slightly metallic gold. And he has pegs that match the color of his suit, thankfully. So in some cases that works out okay, like in the inside of his arms, but we still have the problem on the diamonds where there could be gold paint covering those pegs, but they just don't do that here. So we see that on the legs and the arms. As far as the helmet goes, I think it is sculpted really well. There's a little bit of gold metallic paint on there. It's not quite as metallic as the arms and the chest, though. So that's a different shade again. He's got a little bit of red up on the top here, and then some purple in the eyes for his for basically the dino eyes on the helmet. He's a Brachiosaurus or something like that, I believe, because this is called the Brachiostaff, I want to say. It's been a while, so someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I dig the overall look for this Ranger. I like his aesthetic. I like his shoulder pads. I like the helmet. So he just looks cool to me. And of course, the shoulder pads are kind of what differentiate him from the other Rangers. He has extra sculpt on him, added on, and they don't move or anything, but they're just attached to his shoulders, and they are, again, not gold. They should be gold, but they're not gold. So we've got gold around the collar there, but these are that same kind of gold color gold that we saw with the gold Zeo Ranger, and that's the same thing we've seen throughout these figures lately, is that things that should be gold that are instead molded plastic in kind of a fake gold, yellowy kind of color. So the belt is the same, the holster for his staff is the same, boot cuffs are the same, and then these shoulder pads are. I really think again and again that it's a miss because we do have gold paint. So they can apply the paint. They just are choosing not to. Obviously, it's going to come down to a cost thing, but at the end of the day, I'm not happy with it. So, you know, his look is cool, but he could use that paint. Now, as far as his accessories goes, he's got, you know, one. He does come with a Build-A-Zord piece, but I'm not going to talk about that here. When I eventually finally build the Zord, we'll go through it on its own. But he has the holster that you peg in. I'm not going to consider that an accessory, but you know, you've got it. It is removable. And then he has his staff. So this is, I believe it's called a Brachio staff. He has a Brachiosaurus type Zord, so that's what his pole arm here is fashioned out of. It's kind of like the Saba sword for the White Ranger in that the hilt has the head of the Zord in question, so it's got a kind of Brachiosaurus there. You've got the neck for the Zord here, and there is a lot of sculpted detail on the hilt of this thing. It does, however, need that gold metallic paint to really bring it out, and it doesn't, which is unfortunate because it does have other paint applications on it. It is, in general, a very cool looking weapon, and you know, it kind of makes this guy look a little cooler. This is one of the things that I've talked about with the other Rangers, is that they are missing their signature weapons. This guy comes with his, because I don't believe he has a blaster rifle. I think this is his only thing. So someone correct me if I'm wrong there. But at the same time, I'm still missing those weapons with the other Rangers, and I just feel like one guy having that weapon when the others don't, it's kind of a drawback in terms of your overall display. But if we're talking just about this particular figure, his sole accessory is pretty cool, if a little bit unpainted. So at the end of the day, I am overall pretty happy with this guy. Like I said, he has more good than okay. These figures aren't bad. My opinion of the line has changed a little bit lately, but they are still cutting corners. I wish that we would get that gold paint where we need it, and that's really what it is. The paint needs to be more consistent. Where it needs to be applied, they need to apply it. There should not be 3 different tones of the same color on this Ranger. There's no reason for it. It's a collector line. It should be given kind of, you know, that little bit of oomph to bring it to collector standards. They're supposed to be competing with Legends and Black Series here, and things like this are only going to keep kind of bogging it down. At the base level, it is a cool design. He has a cool weapon, so I can't fault him for that, but I still think that they are kind of cheaping out in places that fans and collectors are continually pointing out that they need to step their game up. And again, it's the paint. It's always the gold paint, it seems. So that's going to do it for this look at the Power Rangers Legacy Black Dino Thunder Ranger from Bandai. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you guys think, and until next time.